What's up, everybody? This is the Sports Nerd coming at you live on this lovely Thursday afternoon from wherever you are. My name is the Sports Nerd coming at you with a NFL News Minute here, and we're going to be discussing the opt-outs. The opt-out deadline has passed, and we're going to be reflecting on who completely opted out and how does it affect each team. So the way this is going to work, I'm going to read out from each team which people opted out. From that, I'm going to discuss what I think is the most from who was hurt the most from this opt-out deadline. And then you guys can, of course, then put your team by team in the chat what you think of what's going to happen with each team. Now, if you guys do like what you see in this video, make sure to hit that like button for me, subscribe, ring that bell to get notified of all my other videos, and of course, enjoy the video. I really hope you guys are enjoying all the content I'm making. And make sure to stick around today, 6:15 Eastern, 3:15 Pacific, for my exclusive live reveal of the panel randomizer for my first ever trivia show. But without further ado, let's get started. So, let's go team by team and sort out who opted out from each team. So, first up, for the Arizona Cardinals, Marcus Gilbert. No one for the Atlanta Falcons. The Ravens had two players, Andre Smith, offensive tackle, and D'Anthony Thomas, wide receiver. For the Bills, E.J. Gaines, defensive back, and Star Lotulelei, defensive tackle. Don't know who that is. For the Panthers, Christian Miller and Jordan Mack. For the Cincinnati Bengals, Isaiah Prince and Josh Tupou, or however you say that, I don't know. Chicago Bears, Jordan Lucas, safety, Eddie Goldman, defensive tackle. For the Cleveland Browns, we got 5 for the Browns. Malcolm Pridgeon, guard. Kobe Gossett, guard. Andrew Billings, defensive tackle. Drew Forbes, guard. And Drake Dorbeck, offensive tackle. For the Dallas Cowboys, Jamazi Olawale, fullback. Stephen Guidry. These are like really hard names to pronounce, mostly because I do not know a lot of these names. Stephen Guidry or Gidry, however you say that name, wide receiver, and Maurice Kennedy, Maurice Kennedy, defensive back. For the Broncos, Juwan James, offensive tackle, and Kyle Peko, defensive tackle. For the Detroit Lions, Russell Bodine, center, Geronimo Allison, wide receiver, and John Atkins, defensive tackle. For the Green Bay Packers, Devin Funchess, wide receiver. For the Houston Texans, Andy Vanderdoes, defensive tackle. Let me just make sure this thing is Well, you guys can continually, if you want to, put your opinions in the chat as I read along, and make sure you guys are following along because I will give my opinions afterwards. Next up, for the Indianapolis Colts, Marvell Tell, defensive back, Roland Milligan, safety, and Sky Moore, linebacker. For my Kansas City Chiefs, Lucas Niang, rookie offensive tackle, Damian Williams, running back, and Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, guard on the offensive line. For the Raiders, Yukemi Ilgwe, linebacker, DJ Kilwings, defensive back, and Jeremiah Valagua, defensive end. Nobody for the Chargers. For the Rams, Chandler Brewer, offensive tackle. For the Jaguars, we have Rashawn Melvin, corner defensive back. Lorente McCray, defensive end / linebacker. And a very familiar face, Al Woods, defensive tackle. Did you actually believe that Al Woods actually opted out after what has happened to him? That's honestly just really, really shocking to me. No offense to any of you guys out there. But let's keep it going. For the Miami Dolphins, Albert Wilson and Allen Hurns, both wide receivers. For the Minnesota Vikings, Michael Pierce, defensive tackles. Now, for the biggest one of all, the New England Patriots, Matt Lacoste, tight end. Marquise Lee, wide receiver. Patrick Chung, safety. Deontay Hightower, linebacker. Brandon Bolden, running back. Marcus Cannon, offensive tackle. Danny Vitale, fullback, and a G Torrent offensive lineman. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players for the Patriots opted out. And I'll explain the reasons why I think that in a little bit. Next, for the New Orleans Saints, Cole Wick, tight end, and Jason Vanderlane, tight end. For the Giants, Sam Beal, defensive back, Damari Scott, wide receiver, Nate Solder, left tackle. For the New York Jets, we're actually coming down to the last few teams here. Josh Doxson, wide receiver. C.J. Mosley, very high-paid linebacker, opted out. And Leo Koloamatangi, if I said that right, offensive lineman. For the Philadelphia Eagles, Marquise Goodwin. For the San Francisco 49ers, Sean Coleman and Travis Benjamin. Sean Coleman, offensive lineman, Benjamin, receiver. For your Seattle Seahawks, only one, Chance Warmack, was the guard. That's the only player you guys got opted out. Nobody from the Steelers. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Brad Seaton, offensive tackle. For the Tennessee Titans, Anthony McKinley, offensive lineman. For the Washington football team, Josh Harvey Clemens, linebacker, and Caleb Brantley, defensive lineman. And last but certainly not least, for the free agents, Larry Warford, guard. That is your complete list for your opt-outs for the 2020 season. Whew. Well, that was probably a lot of names on there I probably did not even know. Sadly, as you guys can see by me being shocked here, it's because a lot of those names are very hard to pronounce, and some of them I don't even know. So please leave your comments in the chat of what you think. But let me just break it down, because I want to also I'm also going to use this as like an off-season kind of recap kind of video. I'm also going to do this more in depth on my first show. We're going to do like an off-season recap for your teams. We're going to do that on Tuesday for the people on the panel. So what I think about the Chiefs really quickly, Damian Williams is obviously going to be the biggest loss here, because if you guys know, Damian Williams was basically the Super Bowl hero in basically everybody's opinion, including mine. And also, actually, wait a minute, why is my light off? Give me 1 second while I go turn my light on and do some live editing. There we go. Now I look much better. Now, as I was saying, Damian Williams was probably the biggest loss here, because he was basically our main running back, guy you can always rely on to get some good yards, and I think he's going to be a huge impact on this offense for the way it's going to turn out. But according to the other guys, Laurent Tardif, I did not 100% be surprised about. He was a doctor on the front lines. I knew he was going to go out early. Probably one of the first ones. He was the first one either way. And I think that, I think that he is going to be the one that is going to be a very big difference in this pandemic, and I respect his decision. Now, for the other one, Lucas Niang, rookie offensive lineman, I'm not 100% surprised. I'm looking at this offensive line right now, and if I can say, if you look at the starting offensive line of this team right now, and I can just say, without a doubt, we'll be okay. Because if you can look at, yes, it sucks because we lose depth at it, but if you're looking at this offense right now, of course you have Mahomes at quarterback, and then at the running back position for Williams, we're going to have to put in the rookie, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which I think is going to be, I'm not 100% mad at it for this reason, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I've seen what he's done at LSU, and I think he has very great potential. Plus, he can learn things very, very fast. And I've seen some of the things that he has done. Especially, he was a transfer, and he transferred over to LSU. Already was a great running back, I think. And then he was a guy that just learned out of his mind in his years at LSU. And I think he's going to be like this on this team. And I think that I'm very much looking forward to what it's going to be in store for when this guy takes the field. Now, if you're looking at the offensive line for Laurent Tardif, in place of the right guard position, the left guard position, we're going to have to put in, wait a minute, am I reading this? Oh yeah, he was the right guard in place of the right guard position. I'm getting so confused with this thing. Here we go. So, as I was trying to say, in place of the right guard position for Laurenti Tardif, it's going to be rookie Kaleki Osmali, if I said that right. I don't know exactly. Osameli, I think is how you say it, right? Yeah. And then, of course, Eric Fisher on the left, Raider in the center, Wiley on the. Oh no, wait. Fisher on the left tackle, Wiley on left guard, Raider in the center, Osmali on the right guard, and Mitchell Schwartz on the right tackle. That's the offensive line right now. And already I can just say that I think that. Is my chair not working? Oh, okay. So I just think that, especially for what we have already at offensive line, I can already see some of the depth. I think we will not be too bad, especially as a Super Bowl winning team that had an offensive line that was not the worst in the NFL. I can say that I'm very confident. Especially, yes, Laurenti Tardif was a big veteran part of that offensive line, but I still, without a doubt, can say that he was by far, I think, not a huge loss, but he was a needed piece of that. So I am a little bit disappointed, but I do respect his decision of what he's done for this pandemic, and I cannot wait to see what he's going to make a difference in on the front lines. I don't see a lot of you guys blowing up the chat right now, but you guys can feel free to leave your comments of what I am saying in the chat. I will get to both of you guys. It says, Alwood is trash. That is true, actually. If you guys also do not know, and I also want to do this very well, he was one of the 2 players who did get suspended, and it's kind of ironic that after he gets suspended, he opts out. Yes, he was not. I don't believe he was reinstated, so he's still suspended indefinitely, and he decided to opt out because he wasn't even going to play. I think that's probably the big decision. I think that because Al Woods is not going to play, he decided to opt out because he was suspended. That's what I think it was. Now, Osmail is super solid and will bring a good veteran presence. Yes, I do agree with that. I think that it is a very good backup for him. I mean, a very good signing for that. I think that was a very good what's it called? A very good signing, just because I think he also has the veteran at the right guard position, which is also a very important part. And this is always something I always put in. He was reinstated. He was only suspended for 6 games. Really? Oh. I was wrong then. I thought he was suspended. I knew Gordon was suspended indefinitely. And I didn't think that. I thought Al Woods was suspended indefinitely too. But, actually, just because I have it on here, let me just look that up. Because I honestly think that. He was suspended 4 games for PEDs. That's what he was. He wasn't suspended 6 games. He suspended 4 games. So that's what it's on right now. Now I want to also do this as sort of like a weekly Thursday thing, especially coming up. Is going to be a recap of what happened last night, which is the NorCam Roundtable. One of the best parts of last night, if you guys do not remember, was the question that I asked to the panel, which was, what was your most embarrassing moment? I think that, I think that of that question that was asked, the person who did the least, embarrassing job out of that was Rishi. Not saying that he did a bad story, because he did tell me that was the first thing that came to mind, but out of all 4 of those, he was not the most embarrassing thing. Now, if you're going for the most embarrassing here, Calvin would be the second most embarrassing, and I think a third worst, and then a tie for first between Norv and Noah. Because Noah, can you believe, though, that Noah was 345 pounds? Really? I know a lot of people on YouTube. Who have, of course, had a weight loss, but from 345, if you want me to right now, I'm not sure, because I've seen some of those photos of him at that time, but I just cannot believe, though, that he was 345 pounds. I mean, I knew he lost a lot of weight from it, but I didn't know that he actually lost that much. And it really shakes me that to think that he was the guy that lost over 100 pounds. It really bothers me. But the juice story, if you guys don't remember, Nick, you also probably do remember this as well. That was during our story. That was our story. You're forgetting that Martin peed on the ground in the mall. Oh, that's the other one. Yeah. Um, I mean, yeah, he probably is the most embarrassing. Tied for second. If you're talking about the five most ones between Norb, Martin, Calvin, Noah, and Rishi, Rishi is last. Um, Noah's definitely fourth. Calvin's third. And then between Rishi and, I mean, not Rishi and him, between Martin and Norb, Martin definitely gets the first place spot. It was really good. Because I think that if you're talking about embarrassing, it has to be something that other people, not just you did, but like affected like what people did during the time after that. And that's what Martin did. Because if you guys remember that story was just the most. He literally went like one had to go really number one, and then it was on the floor, and then you guys all know what happened after that. Other people, including one person in not closed-toed shoes, stepped in it. So that's probably the most embarrassing one out of that. Now, in terms of the trivia, the one that I think is the most savage question, I think, out of everyone was question number 12. What country did he go for 4 years as an exchange student? Surprisingly, I was one of the four people that got it right. And I'll tell you how I got this one right. If you guys remember, back in the beginning of the pandemic, back when he made a video about what life is like in the coronavirus epicenter, is before he went to his first call with Sam Dog, he talked about how he had strep throat when he was an exchange student in Japan. And just from that episode, I knew that, because he was talking about how it gets into like your lungs and all that stuff, just like COVID does. And he got strep throat, and he said he was an exchange student in Japan. So if you go back and watch that video, you guys will be able to see that he was the one that basically was the guy. He was that was the story that basically said that he was in Japan as an exchange student, and ever since that, I knew that was the right one. And surprisingly, only 4 people got it right, and most people already said where his family was from. And that was the Philippines. Now, I do get that, but again, if your family was from there, do you really think that he went to the Philippines as an exchange student? Like, that's just common sense there. He never went to England, I knew that. And then China, I was like, no way. So I knew it was Japan just because of that story, but it's just common sense for me that it would not have been the Philippines, which the majority of the people picked. Let me know your opinions in the chat right now. I'm going to take a few questions before I actually wrap this up, because we've been on here for a little while now. So, what are some of your questions, and then we'll get into it there. Surprisingly, only 2 of you are actually watching right now. It's actually really cool, really surprising. You're forgetting that Martin peed on the ground in the mall. No, I did forget it, and then it was and then I added him in, so that's that. Let's just see what else we got. What time is it right now? So tune in again. I'm gonna be going live in about 50 minutes from now, and then we're gonna go in with the live randomizer. So I already have a confirmation of the people who are gonna be on there. And if you want me to really quickly, I will quickly reveal who is going to be on, who will be on the randomizer, because I want to make sure you guys are aware of what's going to be coming up. So the people who will be on the panel include Sky Aviation, Fat Kid Ori, Martin, Cameron Hughes. Wait, hold on, wait. Oh, yeah, here we go. Sky Aviation, Martin, Cameron, Fat Kid Ori, Nick, Mahir, Yvonne the Hawk, and then I think there was one other person I was missing on here. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that's just about that. Okay. So, yeah, so those are the people that will be on there. Alright, gotta go see at 3:15. Alright. Actually, I'll see you at about 3 o'clock, because Noah Bolter, if you guys don't know, is premiering a video on his channel. So I'll see you guys at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for a Noah Bolter premiere. Then back here for the live reveal exclusive of the panel. And make sure to tweet out to your friends, tell your friends, hey, we're going live at 6:15. Alright. That's about it, guys. Remember, hit that like button for me. Subscribe. Ring that bell to get notified of all my other videos. And until next time, my name is the Sports Nerd. Have yourselves a great rest of your evening. I'll see you again in about 45 minutes for the exclusive live reveal of the panel randomizer of the people who will be on the panel, and I will tell you guys details about how that's going to go. But until next time, go Chiefs, baby.